The Bible tells the story of God and His people from the beginning to the end of time. As you imagine, along the way, many historical events, geographical locations, and famous historical figures are referenced. Yes, it spans across the great empires of mankind, from Egypt to Babylon, and even Rome. And Rome is what we'll be focusing on today. The New Testament opens during the time of the Roman Empire, so there are many famous Roman emperors mentioned in scripture, specifically from the Julio-Claudian dynasty, which was the first dynasty to rule the Roman Empire. Let us begin with the first Roman emperor, Augustus Caesar. He is mentioned during the story of the birth of Jesus. In the Gospel of Luke, chapter 2, verse 1, it states, "And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed." This resulted in Joseph returning to Bethlehem with Mary, where Jesus would be born, as it was prophesied. Little did Augustus know that he was directly contributing to prophecy being fulfilled. Next, we move on to the second Roman emperor, known as Tiberius, who was the successor of Augustus. During the ministry of Jesus, Tiberius was the emperor of Rome. It's told to us again in the Gospel of Luke, this time in chapter 3, verse 1. It states, "In the 15th year of the reign of Tiberius Caesar, when Pontius Pilate was governor of Judea." Jesus also says the line, "Give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and to God what is God's." The Caesar he was referring to was Tiberius. The next time scriptures mention a Roman emperor, it's after the death and ascension of Jesus, during the time of Paul the Apostle. The Roman emperor mentioned is good old Uncle Claudius, and it's mentioned in the book of Acts, chapter 18, verse 2, where it says, "Claudius had ordered all Jews to leave Rome. Paul went to see them." This shows how much time had passed since we skipped over Caligula entirely to get to the fourth emperor, Claudius. Now, we move on to the final emperor of Rome mentioned in the scriptures, that is, Nero. While the name Nero is never specifically uttered, it is believed he is mentioned. During the Apostle Paul's trial at Caesarea, he uses his right as a Roman citizen to appeal to Caesar with his case, as it is written and documented in the book of Acts, chapter 25. It is believed that during this time Nero had already ascended to the throne, and this was during his early years, before his persecutions of Christians began, and his all-around evil nature was revealed. For history states that Nero's early reign went very well and he showed great promise. That is why Paul assumed taking his case to him would work out well, since Nero was thought to be a very good leader. While the Bible remains silent on whether Paul and Nero actually met, we do know that Paul spent his remaining years in prison, and he, alongside the Apostle Peter, died during Nero's persecutions of the Christians. And those are all the Roman emperors mentioned in Scripture. Again, Scripture only focuses on the early years of Rome, and mainly stops at the end of the Julio-Claudian dynasty, because the rest of the Bible is usually just addressed to fellow church members through the epistles, and the book of Revelations only focuses on future events. And so, yeah, that's it.